Was that Ian?
I nearly messaged you to make sure we were still on, so I didn't get my little text message.
Yeah. Recording confirmed.
Recording confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
We're all official. Official.
Yeah. Phil's looking for official. He's on the wrong show.
It's okay. It's okay.
That's for sure.
You're officially unofficial.
Yeah, we're officially unofficial. That'd be a good slogan.
That's a good one. I like it. Officially unofficial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's us.
If you got any more casual would fall over, right? Or any more laid back would fall over.
Oh man.
I remember going to a Tom Platt seminar when I was about 16 years old. And, everybody was sat in the seats in this theatre, and he got on the microphone and he sat on the edge of the stage. He says, "I don't like it when everything's formal." He said, "Everybody just come close," and everybody just relaxed. From that, like that first thing he said, everybody in the room relaxed, and they all went up, and it was one of the best seminars I've ever been to in my life. So whenever I did a seminar, like a bodybuilding seminar, I always did exactly the same thing. Just try and get everybody to like just chill out and not think of you as some, you know, whatever the thought of you is, just like takes the edge out of the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this the first time you've been on this, Phil?
Second time. He was on one of my very first couple shows.
I think it was me and Ben Marciano from Zone Health and Fitness.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, I thought I'd seen a bit of that one.
Yeah. So that's why I asked Phil to come back on today, because since then, man, both of us we've both been kind of taking off. But he's been really he's been photographing a lot of good people, man. A lot of interesting people. So I figured I'd bring him back on and let him talk about it a little bit. So
it's fun. Last year, Ian had to put the shows on hold because of the whole, stuff. But he approached me earlier this year and was like, "Hey, can you, maybe take some photos of this show?" And I was like, "Sure." And then he was like, "Well, how about you take photos of the rest of these shows?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And it's been fun.
Yeah, great. Yeah, you're great at what you do, man. You really are.
It's fun.
Great at what you do. It's I mean, I've been around. You know Chris Lund is, right?
Yeah.
Chris Lund, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I worked with Chris Lund a lot when I was competing, and your stuff, you capture the atmosphere in a lot of the stuff you do, which a lot of photographers don't catch. You get the atmosphere, which is, to me, that's 90% of it. It's not just about having a picture that's in focus. It's about catching the atmosphere of the person or the atmosphere of the event, whatever. But,
it's like he catches the attitude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it comes back to marketing. You want to be able to show people that aren't at the show what we're doing then. And you want to give the athletes a great product to show their family and friends, "Hey, this is what I did. This is what I accomplished. This is what we did." And so that's timeless too. We're me and the other photographers that are in this industry, at least the local ones, we've had conversations with like Z Rich Productions, Enduring Aesthetics, and we're capturing this time in history so we can show people in the future what happened this year, what happened at this show. The Iron Bay looked like this, and these were the athletes that accomplished what they did on that stage. And so it's an honor to be able to do what we're doing. We're helping to tell the story of these athletes from what other people are seeing, whether it's through photo or video, and then we get to edit it and manipulate these photos just a little bit, color grade it the way we want to tell that story, kind of. And that's part of what separates out different photographers and videographers. We're telling these athletes' story. We're telling this competition story so that everyone else can see it through our eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. You do a great job of it, man. You really do. I don't think there's too many people that have got your vision. I don't know. I really do. I mean, some of the shots you've got from like side stage and backstage, I think they're awesome. And I think they're some of the best pictures, actually, personally. They're just, like you say, that you capture the whole atmosphere of the whole event, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
It's fun. I enjoy it.
People don't realize how, and I've talked about this before with Phil about capturing that moment. I mean, especially with you, Ian, you were in the 90s, and you everybody loves seeing your pictures that you post, from how important these pictures are you take of yourself and stuff, especially at your best. So
it's crazy because when you get the pictures taken, you never like them.
Mm-hmm.
An athlete, it's true though. You never
you pick yourself apart. Yeah.
I mean, out of all the pictures that I've got up in my own gym right now of myself competing, I didn't like any of them. It's only now that I'm in my 50s, I look back and I think, damn, that's a good shot. Or damn, I wasn't bad. I was pretty good. But at the time, you never think you're good. You're never happy with what
we're our own worst critic, especially whenever we're trying to be our biggest, our leanest, our driest. Our arms are never big enough. They're never going to be big enough, even though to everyone else, we're huge. So you're your own worst critic.
And even just even not just bodybuilding, because you do family photos and stuff like that. Even when your family's at its best, you can look back and see these pictures that help you remember.
Absolutely.
So.
Your 7-year-old's only going to be 7 and this tall for that year. After that, he or she is going to be taller and have longer or shorter hair. And so you want to capture those moments every single season. Whether it's portrait headshots or whatever, it's marketing. And so this year, whenever your hair looks like this, or you're this weight, you want to capture that and then use that for either social media content or marketing content, or just to look back on later in life.
I'll ask you a question. I mean, I mentioned Chris Lund, and Jason mentioned like pictures of me when I used to compete in the 90s. How do you think photography, and especially physique photography, has changed with the onset of social media?
It's gotten better because you had a limited amount of people doing it back in probably the 80s or 90s. There was a select few of those photographers that specifically wanted to take bodybuilding photos. And you see those photos now and you're just like, wow, that was awesome. And you see maybe 100 athletes out there.
Yeah.
Now you see 1,600 athletes at one show. It's a national qualifier. There's 1,600 athletes. I guarantee you at least 1,000 of them had a camera and social media. So later on in life, you're going to see better quality photos with more athletes, whether they're pro or amateur, or competed once or competed 100 more times. And then on top of it, you have posing clinics. Like Ian, you put on posing clinics. And so some of these pros from the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, they had a specific way of posing, and that's what they had seen. And so now you have all these athletes that are helping other athletes pose better than they used to pose, and they're incorporating different styles of posing. They're incorporating a lot of these physique girls are getting up there and they're throwing in some hip hop moves. They're incorporating some ballet. Even Arnold Schwarzenegger back in the day took ballet lessons so he could pose better and more smooth and more fluidly. And then you have physique guys, classic physique guys getting up on stage and making it even better every single time. Terrence Ruffin, phenomenal poser, great athlete. Probably one of the best of our time right now. His posing is just so dramatic. And his clinics that he puts on down in Tampa and actually across the country, he's helping other amateurs get better at what they do. So eventually they'll probably be better than Terrence is now. So be it photography, posing, overall social media content and exposure for the sport, it's growing and it's getting bigger and it's getting better.
I agree.
Yeah. Now, somebody that doesn't know, I mean, obviously we know that's competing, Phil. When's the best time to like, if I'm doing my first show, when should I start taking pictures? Right before the show, after the show, or does it matter?
Now, cell phone photos yesterday.
Okay.
And if you're prepping for your first show, I would hope that you found a prep coach that you can, send photos to, or at least somebody that's helping you get ready for this show. If anyone says to me that they're prepping themselves for their show, themselves, 99 times out of 100, you're going to look like you prepped yourself.
Yeah.
Majority of the time, 9 times out of 10, go ahead and pay somebody that knows what they're doing to help you get ready for a show. You might have in your head an idea of what to expect to do to get ready to get on stage, but somebody that is either a pro or has been helping other people turn pro knows better than what you do. I never imagined I'm the best at anything. So to get ready for something that is your amateur debut, it's better to show up with somebody else's professional knowledge than it is for you to step on stage all by yourself. Because I've seen it a million times. Your tan isn't dark enough. You're holding water, guys and girls. And then you might, it's a learning experience from there on. You might step on stage with somebody that knows what they're doing, and you look just as tan and dark as everyone else. Your tan is even. Your posing is good. You've cut water properly. You've done it the healthy way. Note I said healthy way of doing it. There's a lot of do's and don'ts, and it's only for your benefit that you do them a more professional, thought out way than guessing yourself. Or I read it on this forum, or I read it in this magazine that this is what you take and this is what you do.
And even, I mean, guys that aren't competing, like if somebody's on a weight loss journey, obviously progression photos are very important. And at the end, give yourself a treat, do a photo shoot. You finish, you lost 100 pounds, you just completed your first triathlon, something, anything,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because you might never look this way again. You might look better than this in 6 to 8 months from now, but go ahead and document it, because you can show your transition.
Yeah. And you might lose your hair, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, that's why I say to every athlete that asks me.
Not yet for me.
No, you're the only one here that's got hair.
Right after a show, I think every athlete should do a photo shoot, because 9 times out of 10, when they're relaxed and they've eaten some food, there's some of the gym shots they can get from that conditioning. They'll probably never look, like you said, they might never look like that again if they decide not to compete again. But I think more people kick themselves in the ass afterwards for not doing a photo shoot, rather than say, damn, I wish I'd not done that photo shoot. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's very rarely someone's going to regret doing a photo shoot. They'll regret not doing one, but they very rarely regret doing one. What's your background, Phil? I've known you all this time, and I've never asked you what's your background. You competed? How did you get into all this?
The same way I got into photography and videography because of bodybuilding. I was in a position in life where I was cutting out smoking, cutting out drinking, and starting to get into a gym and build up my physique, because I was about this big around. I was like 165 pounds and 5'10", and I wanted to fix that. So I joined a gym, put on a little bit of muscle, and then I decided I was going to do a competition. And I went with a prep coach, Clay Parker, over in Mount Dora, Orlando area. And he set me on the right path towards getting ready. And he said, I'm going to do your peak week. Everything you're doing right now is fine. You're well on your way on track, and just catch up with me about 3 or 4 weeks out, and we're going to do your peak week. So we were right on track. And around that time, I got involved in a clothing brand sponsorship. And they said, as long as you're competing, we're going to give you free hats, free t-shirts, and we want social media content so we can, send you some protein powder or whatever like that too. And so I was taking cell phone photos, did my first show. And then after that, they were like, hey, can you give us some more content that's, better quality than just your cell phone? And I was like, sure. So as I got ready for my next show the next year, I bought a DSLR and a little nifty 50 lens and a tripod. and I was taking photos of myself with a little clicker, wearing their shirts, wearing their hats. And then that brand said, "Hey, can you do this for all our athletes?" And I was like, "Sure." And so that snowballed into me taking gym photos and eventually gym videos. And I was giving away shoots, getting paid by this one, giving away a shoot, getting paid by this one. And I got up the gumption to call a local pro out of Daytona, and that was Jason Lowe. And I was like, "Hey, man, I'll give you a free shoot if you want to meet me." And he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm getting ready for this show. I'll take some free photos." And that snowballed into eventually me quitting my day job. And now I do real estate photography, bodybuilding photos. I offer video. But my main passion is obviously the bodybuilding stuff. And so that was my transition to a whole nother way of life. I did my 3 bodybuilding shows, and I kept placing second, and which is fine. That's not my thing no more. But now photography is. And so ever since then, I've turned a hobby into a living, and I enjoy myself. I mean, I get to meet cool people like Ian.
So are you self-taught, Phil?
What's that?
You self-taught?
Yeah, there's a lot of great tutorials on social media that you can take and figure out, what to set your camera for, and this lens does this. And then how to use software to edit your videos. And I'm still learning. I'm still growing. There's some cool things that you see every once in a while on an Instagram video. I'm like, I want to learn how to do that. And so I'll sit down one afternoon or evening or weekend, whenever I have time, and try to learn that new style. Or I want to color grade these photos this way, not because that guy does it or I want to mimic him. It's because I probably want to do it better than him. I want to do something similar but better. But yeah, it's fun. It's a hobby that pays the bills.
That's cool, man. Very interesting. Yeah, I'm glad I asked that question now. I've often wondered. I've never heard of a bodybuilding photographer getting into it like that. Never. Because
what's funny is my last show, I was up against a fellow that we both know. And he was obviously bigger than me, but they stuck us on stage together, even though he was in a different height class than me. And he obviously beat me. But after that, we've remained friends. And still to this day, we work together every so often. But yeah, it's a lot of it is relationships. You build relationships with people, and you continuously do good work, and you keep trying to get better and go to the next level, and you want to take your friends with you as well. And so whenever Jason's like, "Hey man, how do we do this? How can we make this happen? Hey man, let's figure it out." And then I'm part of his platform of doing these podcasts I had a hand in, and I'm honored to be a part of this. And then, Ian, you wanted to film these shows. Well, good thing I have this camera now. So now we can film all these shows, and we've done it for the last 2 or 3 shows that I've shot. We filmed them.
Yeah, absolutely. We're still trying to figure out what to do with that, but yeah, no, you've helped us tremendously, Phil. I can't thank you enough. I mean, I really can't. I look forward to growing PCA as well as you, as well as your career grows. PCA will grow in this country, so it's exciting times ahead for both of us.
Absolutely. Yeah. We are living in an exciting time and in an exciting state, because there's a lot of states that can't do what we're doing right now.
Yeah,
it is very true. Yeah, same here, Phil. I mean, obviously, you said you came over here and helped me, and I still remember you coming over here trying to show me how to edit these films, and I'm just like, I scratching my head, and he'd leave, and I'd call him. I'm like, "Phil, you got to come back, dude. I can't do this." I'm like, and then I was sending the video. I'm like, "Listen, I've went through like 2 computer screens already because I've thrown like 2 of them through the window." So I would send them to him, and finally I started getting it. Phil was like, "Just keep practicing. Just keep practicing. You'll get it. So
that's what it takes, man. It's practice, and you've got it down. You do a phenomenal job of what you do.
They're getting better. Yeah, they're
officially unofficial.
Better. Yeah, it's officially unofficial. So we'll get into kind of some shop talk here. So you guys are talking about your show this Saturday. Is the PC?
We're going to be in Tampa.
Yeah, you're gonna be at Tampa.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be in Tampa. It's October 11th, September 11th.
September 11th. Yep. At
That's
Jefferson High School.
Jefferson High School. Okay.
Iron Bay Classic.
12 o'clock, right?
Yeah, the show starts at 12 noon.
Okay.
We do a run-through show. We don't do a pre-judging night show, so it's over pretty quick. I would imagine we'll be done by, I don't know, 4 or 5 p.m.
Yep.
I'm not.
That's one of the big differences with PCA shows is they don't do a morning show or a night show. It's all in one.
Mhm.
And so as a classic physique competitor or physique competitor, if I were to step on stage, I would go up there, get judged, go down, have 10 hours in between the morning show and the night show, and then come back and find out who won. PCA does it. So you get up on stage, you're judged, you do your individuals, you bring them back all together right then and there. They let you know who won.
Now, Ian, is there any difference in your judging as far and or your mandatories different than any of the other organizations?
Yeah, we do different poses for like in bikini classes.
Mhm.
We don't just do a front and back. We do 4/4 turns.
Okay.
For men's physique, we actually do, again, not just front and back. We do actually 4/4 turns, and we do 5 compulsory poses,
Mhm.
which is basically a front and back double bicep, a side oblique shot from both sides, and an abdominals pose. And then for classic bodybuilding, we do all of the bodybuilding poses, and we add 3 classic poses. So that'll be a front, side, and rear classic pose. We also don't do the wide-sided shorts for classic. Let the bodybuilders wear whatever shorts they want. We don't have a height weight restriction. It's towards classic bodybuilders a visual. It's a look. It's not a height and weight. Apart from that, it's pretty much the same. The bodybuilding poses are all the same.
Other routines, same, about a minute.
Every athlete in our shows gets a full minute routine. I don't know if all of the federations do that, but
Yeah.
we do.
It depends on the show. I think it depends on how many entries you have. Typically, it's only your top 5, right, Phil? I think, at least in the NPC shows. Sometimes if they have maybe 6 or 7 guys, they'll just go ahead and let all 6 and 7 guys do their main.
Yeah, typically in the morning show, like was it GBA? They'll do comparisons, and then in the evening is when you get to do your top 10 or top 5 pose downs. I think NPC does that too, but if there's only 6 or 7 folks in the category, you all get to do it, but in the evening time, not in the morning.
Right. Yeah, I think I like the way we do it. I think it's better for the athletes because as far as peaking, I mean, it's impossible to peak for the morning and the night. I mean, you can only peak. You pick the pre-judging normally, but then the people who come to watch the night show are not seeing the physiques at the very best. So I kind of like how we do it, but some people don't. Some people like the old. The first time I saw a PCA show, I was like, "What the hell are they doing? What is going on?" But once I'd seen it and I'd sat through it, I'm like, "Damn, why didn't I think of that? I thought it was a great idea." But it can be strange if you used to going to a pre-judging and then a night show. It can be strange.
Yeah.
So Arnold's coming up too, right? I think.
Yeah, I think that's about 3 weeks out.
Is it 3 weeks? Okay.
Where is that this year?
Isn't it the week? Isn't it the first week of October?
No, it's in
or the last
September.
week of September.
I think it's in
September.
Yeah.
Where is that?
It's in Ohio.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's still there.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever moved it.
No,
I'm not sure if they brought it
he's
to
got
Florida.
that venue up there. His statue is out in front.
Yeah. We've been talking about him a little bit. He's not very popular here at the moment.
I only know a few competitors that are gonna go up to Ohio. Of course, it's by invitation only. So there's certain folks that aren't invited to compete in that show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know any other photographers. I'm sure there's a few that are going, but I personally don't know any other photographers that are going to be up there. I know a bunch that are going to be at Olympia, obviously, but that's coming up second week of October.
Yeah. And have they officially announced that it's going back to Vegas?
They have not.
Yeah, that's just the rumor.
It's been rumored. It's been rumored it's going to stay here, but I've also heard rumored that it's going to go to 3 nights instead of just 2, and it's going to go back to Vegas.
We'll see.
Has any of you ever heard
We'll
anything else about that that show that The Rock's doing in Atlanta?
I haven't heard anything
that
about
one.
that.
They were supposed to do that in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
What's it
I heard a
called?
lot of talk about it, and then I haven't heard anything recently.
Yeah.
Fitness Con or something like that.
Yeah, FitCon.
Yeah,
FitCon.
FitCon. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
if he
kind of
does it right,
disappeared.
yeah, if he does it right, I think it'd be nice. Good change of pace. Maybe is it involved with IFBB?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, it is involved with IFBB. Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to have the same lineup of judges.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of ifs, buts, and maybes. I'm sure they're going to try and control it, but I don't know whether it's going to want to be controlled or not. I'm not
Those
sure.
folks that put on the Sharuk shows, the Sharuk Classic and all those, they put on some decent shows, and it's not the same bunch that puts on a lot of these American shows. They have some Miami shows, and then I think they have some Peru and Brazilian shows. But it's a lot of the experience has to do with the judging and how smooth the event goes. There are some shows that I've been a part of that if I were a competitor, I would never sign up for that show again. And then there's other shows that if a competitor asks me, I'm like, hey, you want to sign up for this show, this show, this show? And that way you have time to do these shows. The promoters are good. You get stage time. It's bang for your buck. And then majority of these shows are like PCA shows are all national qualifiers, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So do national qualifiers.
What federation is that you're talking about? They're in Peru. I missed the first bit.
The Sharuk Classic shows?
Shrewd.
Sharuk. They put on, I know they put on nationals down here in Miami. And then they have their hand in a couple other shows around the states.
I didn't know what that was. Where are they based? Are they an American company, Sharuk?
No, I think they're from either South America or around Kuwait.
Interesting.
I'd heard the names before, but I've never seen.
I heard the name, but I didn't know that.
They don't come up this way. I think down south is the furthest they come, isn't it?
I know they have their hand in putting on nationals in Miami/Orlando.
Yeah.
At the end of the year. But they put on good shows. And another thing I like about them is if you're taking photos from the crowd, they don't ask you to leave.
Oh, really? Well, that's good.
Yeah.
What's the deal with, like, if you go to the Olympia? Do you have to get like a press pass to take pictures and stuff like that?
Last year I didn't. Last year I went to the AM show for amateurs, the AM show for pros, and took photos and was there sitting next to 10 other photographers, but I wasn't on the front row. But I was sitting back in the crowd. I paid my normal fee to get in, and I took stage shots, and no one said nothing. And then whenever I went to the big night show on Friday, I had a zoom lens. I was just over there off to the right side of the stage, and I shot the athletes, and no one said nothing.
Interesting.
That's pretty good.
Interesting. Yeah, that is pretty good. Very interesting stuff.
It's talking about The Rock. Mel Chauncey is, The Rock is making a movie, a documentary is playing him in a movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. And I think they're filming it now because I've spoken to him about coming on the show, and he told me he's under contract right now. He said he'd love to, but he's under contract with The Rock, and he can't talk about his story. He can't talk about his story and stuff till the movie comes out. So
that's interesting. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, he's got a pretty interesting story, man. He was in Hell's Angel and all that stuff. Yeah. Speaking of which,
him on Instagram, and he's got some good words. He's very inspirational.
Oh yeah. He does his inspirational stuff in the morning.
His testimony, and he'll get up there and he'll just speak some Bible verses. He'll have a little chat with every one of his followers about God, and his travels and his story and what he's learned today. And I like that. I like that. Whether you're a religious person or not, it's very motivational.
Yeah. Him and Hogan are buddies. They go out on their boats a lot and stuff. He posts pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another person that's on my bucket list, actually.
Hulk Hogan?
Hulk Hogan. I was a fan
That's who
of
you need to
him.
go. You need to go through Mel. So if I get Mel to come on the show, that's our ticket in.
Heck yeah, I'm up for it. And he lives around the corner over there in Clearwater, I think.
Yeah, he lives over by Ian. Ian needs to hit him up.
Yeah.
I actually know it. I know it. Well, I don't know him really well, but I know him from when I used to wrestle. I mean, I saw him at a lot of the shows. In fact, the first time I met Hulk Hogan, I was backstage at Universal Studios with Bushwhacker Luke, and Hogan walked up to me and he wrote a $dollar sign on my chest. He said, "I see dollars all over you, brother." Never happened, but that's what he said. But yeah, I wrestled with a lot of people who were very good friends with Hogan, so yeah, I've come across him quite a lot in my life.
Yeah, you see,
awesome.
Triple H just had some heart issues. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it was on the. I was looking at the news, and he. Let's see, it didn't say when it was. All it says is he had just a heart issue and a heart procedure. That's all it's saying. It said he's going to make a full recovery.
No, I can relate to that.
So it doesn't go specifically and say what it is. So I don't know. Well, we don't have any, thankfully, knock on wood, we don't have any deaths to talk about this show. As far as bodybuilders that I can think of, there's nothing that I've seen.
Not really recent, but there has been quite a few over the last few months, hasn't there?
There has been. But you know what, though? It's all the sports, and they don't mention that. Of course, they make the bodybuilders look worse. Don't get me wrong. There's bodybuilders that do things they're not supposed to be doing, but I actually went through. And
do you imagine that football players are doing things that they're not supposed to be doing?
Well, listen to this. This is just a few. I was going down the list. I just Googled like NFL and football players and baseball players and stuff that have died this year. So there's this guy, Lorenzo Washington, 34 years old, Vincent Jackson, 38, Darius Johnson, 47, Lewis Nix, 29, pitcher named Riel Cormier, 53. And they're all like heart. One of them had a liver infection. One of them had lung infection. A couple of them had cancer. So it's everywhere. It's not just bodybuilding.
Yeah.
It's not just bodybuilding. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
No, it's true. It's
the media does like to make this sport look bad for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's always been like that. It's always been like that. I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's normal people's insecurities. I don't know. Of when you get a bodybuilder, they always want a reason to put it down. They can't just acknowledge the hard work and the dedication that it gets to look like that. They want to put it down and try and explain why they don't look like that, and they have to go to the drugs angle. And it's always been like that. It's just everything. You know what it is? Everything that used to be in the 80s got escalated in the 90s, and now it's just escalated like a million times because of social media. There's more people involved in the sport, so there's more people with a voice, there's more coaches, there's more photographers, there's just more of everything. So everything is just amplified.
Yep.
More so than it used to be. But it's the same. Human nature's the same. Human nature's the same as it used to be. It's not, people try and make out that all these guys nowadays are taking more gear than they used to do. And, I remember back in my day, I mean, all the guys that were in the era before us were frowning upon what we were doing. It's always, the grass always seems greener on the other side of the fence, and the new generation are always going to do things that the old generation don't approve of, which is always going to be like that.
Yep. I agree.
Who do you think when you were competing in was on the most gear? Would you say Nasser?
That's the weirdest thing, Jason, because who really knows?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What do you go by what people say? Because if you go by what people say, people would tell me all sorts of stories about Lee Priest, about a lot of other bodybuilders. But then as you get older, you find out that Lee Priest wasn't really on that much. I wasn't on that much. I know people used to accuse me of being on loads because I was successful at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
So most people couldn't fathom the fact that that could be from hard work or hard training. It had to be from drugs, right? If you did it, but it's bullshit. I mean, the only people that really know are the people that were doing it. Even, I mean, back in my day, we didn't have as many coaches, but some people did have coaches. But even the coaches can't tell you, because a coach can tell you what to do, but they don't really know what you do.
Exactly.
They advise you what to do. They're not there when you're putting something in your body, or they're not there while you're going through your last reps. The only person that could be held accountable for that is you. So, it's, I couldn't tell you. What I would say is, looking back and knowing what I know now, which I didn't know then, but knowing what I know now, I'd say most of the guys that were at the top of their game in the 90s were not taking that much compared to what a lot of regular bodybuilders were doing.
Yeah.
It's I ain't saying that they were elite people or anything. I just think they'd figured out that more was not better. So, it's as far as who took the most. I know who had a reputation for being one of the craziest as far as experimentally goes. Milos.
Yeah, he'll tell you. Yeah.
And Milos, he probably wasn't a big gear user, but he was big into experimenting with different things. And I wasn't. I liked other people to experiment first, and then I would do what they told me worked or didn't work. I never liked to pick myself as a guinea pig,
Yeah. If you don't have a doctor's certificate, you're
No, exactly. I mean, it kind of is what. But everybody's got different opinions, and
well, look at Rich Piana. I mean, nothing to say anything bad about the guy. I like the guy, but he was putting other stuff in his body that he wasn't telling everybody.
Oh yeah,
especially illegal, street drugs. Allegedly. So.
Yeah, you never know, and that's the thing. The only person that can really tell you what someone's taking is that person, because it's and the thing is, it's not just about that. So many. I think that's one of the big mistakes bodybuilders make, and I made it. I made the same mistake, thinking if you found out what drugs they were taking, you could be as good as them. But that's only one part of the equation. You've got the training intensity, the recovery, the nutrition. All these things factor into building, and genetics, actual genetics, how good you can be or how good you already are. I mean, all those things factor into how good somebody can be. And then you've got, I remember back in the day, you'd look at like Robbie Robinson's arms and you'd be like, wow, I'm going to get a peak like that if I do preacher curls. No, you're not. that's bullshit. The shape of your bicep is kind of decided when you conceive. The shape of most of your muscles are decided when you conceive. So it's not. I'm not a big proponent or a big advocate of people changing the shape of a muscle. I think you can make them bigger or smaller, but I'm not really convinced that you can actually change the shape of it.
Do you think genetics are changing? You think genetics are different than what they used to be? Like people, I don't want to offend anybody and get political, but the kids today don't seem the same as they were when we were growing up. Am I saying that right?
You have to imagine that all the stuff that they put into food to get the chickens to grow, to get the livestock to grow, to get the turkeys to grow back in the 60s and 70s, and then you pump that up so you can get bigger chickens, bigger turkeys, bigger beef today. Of course, the kids are going to be bigger. Of course, the opportunity for more growth is going to be there. It might be unhealthy growth. We'll see. We won't know that answer until these kids grow up. But yeah, I think that genetically, these young people and young adults have an edge on the 70s, 80s, 90s bodybuilders. It could be a natural evolution, or it could be because of the food and the vegetables and the things that they put on the foods that we consume every day. But we'll find that out probably after somebody does a study here and this group does a study there, but definitely some of these athletes are genetically more blessed than they were in the 80s. That's for sure.
It's interesting because when it's like I go off on tangents, but I was back in England a few years ago, and I went to a place called Lincoln Castle. And if you go to any old castle in England, the doorways are about 5 foot tall, because people in England back in those days were short people. Now, people didn't start getting tall in England until the Vikings came over and raped and pillaged, and then suddenly it was like that part of the English DNA was Vikings. And I'm sure that's got something to do with it, because let's face it, America, more so than any other country in the world, is a melting pot of lots of different nationalities and lots of different heritages. And I would imagine the more that happens, the more generations come through with more of a broad spectrum of genetics. I would imagine that the same thing's going to happen. People are going to get bigger.
I completely agree.
Yeah. Now, Ian, do you look at your son now, Mac, and say, you know, he's kind of built like I was? Like, do you look at him and say, you know, hey, he could probably put muscle on as easy as I did?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. See, I had that with my son. I look at my son and I think of the opposite. I know how was such a hard time I had to put muscle on, and he's going to the gym now, and I'm thinking, yeah, he's got the same problem I had. I didn't start putting on size until I was in my mid-30s.
Yeah, but when I look at Mac, I see like his quad. Everybody used to freak out about my quads. Well, Mac's quads are exactly the same as mine. I mean, exactly. And you don't even have to train them, and they just grow. You know, he'll have the same weak body parts that I had, but he's got the same strong one, and he's got the same shape. Not that I'm going to try and get him to be a professional bodybuilder, because that's not my intention for my son. But you know, yeah, I can see, and I see that with a lot of people. I mean, if you look at pictures of like a young any bodybuilder that's really good, you look at them when they're young, they've got a very similar body shape to what they do when they get to be the best. I mean, it's obviously not as big, but you can kind of identify them. And then afterwards, when they retire, the body goes back to what it was. I mean, it's just, it just is. I think a lot of times bodybuilders try and change their natural shape, or they want to look like exactly like another person who might be the best in that field at that time. And you can't do it. I mean, I was guilty of doing the same thing, wanting to be like Lee Haney, but you that's not you. You've got to be the best that you can be. And hopefully that becomes a winning physique. But you can't change your body to look like somebody else. It's just never going to happen. You've got genetic strengths and weaknesses. We all do. And you just got to try and make your weaknesses not so weak, and exaggerate your strengths, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Is Lee Labrada's boy the only offspring that's really doing well? Is there any other superstars' kids?
Sergio.
Oh, that's right. Sergio's kid. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw Hunter Labrada. I guess it was right after Europa. He was over there at Iron Religion in Orlando, and his girlfriend had just got done competing. And he's got his dad's structure, but 3 times the size of his dad.
Oh yeah,
it's huge. It's huge.
But overall, it would be cool to see some of these 90s
what's Sergio doing?
Sergio, he got his pro card a little while back. I'm not sure if he's competing in the Arnold or not.
Yeah, I know he did Arnold. Was it last year?
Probably last year or the year before.
Yeah, I know. It was the year I was there. Was I there last year? I think I was there last year, because that's right. It was right before everything shut down. It was last March of last year. Yeah, I think he was there. I think he got like 5th or 6th. Yeah.
You got to want it. I mean, to do it. I mean, I don't know if I'd want to put my son through it. I mean, when you're coming from that background, everybody's going to compare you all your whole life. You're going to get compared, and there's going to be a lot of people, no matter how good or bad you get, they're going to say that you weren't as good as your dad, you know. And then like Hunter, like you say, he's completely different. I mean, he's got the great structure, but he's not even reminiscent of his dad's physique. I mean, his dad was a small bodybuilder. He wasn't a big man. You know, I competed against Lee Labrada, and he was class all the way. And Hunter is like a mutant compared to him. Yeah, you know, it's like he ate his dad.
Yeah.
Lee had that classic physique look before classic physique was a thing, and Hunter is definitely a super heavyweight.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, it's interesting. It is very interesting. But
Yeah.
I don't think I'll be trying to get my son to be a professional bodybuilder anytime soon. I doubt it anyway.
Yeah.
We're too busy anyway. We're in PCA.
Yeah.
You
Hey,
definitely have to have a passion for it.
Phil, you mentioned Iron Religion. Iron Religion gym.
Yeah, that's over there in Orlando on iDrive. They're super nice. They love it whenever I come in there and do video shoots or photo shoots with athletes.
What's your favorite gym in Central Florida?
Oh, that's tough. That's tough. As far as hardcore gyms, like the open air and heavy dumbbells that go all the way from 2.5 to 150, 200 pounds, it's probably going to be Liftmore over in Spring Hill area. And that gym is super nice. It's got the open bay doors, so you get the fans blowing on you. Whenever it rains, you might get a little bit wet. When it's cold, you got to dress warm. But that's a fun gym to shoot at. MI40 in Tampa is phenomenal.
Yeah, I want to go to that one. I haven't been to that one yet.
A bit. Man, you're missing out.
Yeah.
Go get a day pass.
Yeah.
Call down there and get a day pass.
I think I'm going to make a day of it. I think
elite.
Saturday before Ian's show, I might go there.
That's a good idea. Go down there. Ask for Amanda, and she will give you a day pass and take care of you there. It's really an elite gym. It's the mecca of the East Coast now.
Okay.
And then Iron Religion in Orlando. Once again, it's just the colors, the look, the feel, the open room, the graffiti on the wall. I love shooting there. Zone in Ocala is really nice. That's closest to me. That's one of the few gyms I actually pay to go to. I still keep a membership there. Even if I only get to work out once a week, I go there. I don't get to work out as much as I used to.
Yeah, me either. Did you see Gustavo at Iron Religion when you go there?
Every so often he's in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I had him on the show not long ago.
He's not as wide as he used to be, but you can definitely still feel it's him.
You don't recognize him. He's got the beard and he wears the glasses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when he came on the show and I'm looking at the pictures, I'm like, man, is this him? Did I?
Yeah.
Yeah, super nice guy. Super nice. And once he started talking, I'm like, oh yeah, this is definitely him. Yeah.
And he was in the early 2000s, right?
Yeah, he got second place at which Olympia? 2002 or 3, something like that.
That's what I was thinking. 2003.
Yeah, right behind Ronnie. He got second.
Yeah.
Yeah, phenomenal competitor. The freaking Rican. You remember him?
The freaking Rican. I remember looking at all those magazines and seeing him, and even I have a magazine with Ian in it, actually. And I never imagined that would be the guy that's taking the photos for these things anymore. And it's kind of cool whenever you get an email from Muscular Development or whatever magazine, RX Muscle or something like that, and they're like, hey, we want to use your photos from this shoot, or hey, we're going to ask you to go out to this gym and shoot with this athlete. Can you do that? I never imagined I would be in a magazine, at least my photos. And it's a cool feeling that I can look at that and say, yeah, I shot with Rachel Daniels, or I shot with Terrence Ruffin, or those photos of Jason were my photos. It's pretty cool.
Now, who's on your? I know you said Hogan's on your bucket list, but whoever's competing, the current competitors, who's on your
current competitors?
Yeah, who do you want?
Man. Oh, I don't know. I've got some lined up this year that are going to be in Orlando at Olympia. I'm going to keep on the down low. You'll see who they are.
Okay.
1 or 2 of them is just like, wow, really? You want me? Okay, let's do it. Let's make it happen. I don't know. Bumstead. I haven't shot with Bumstead yet.
That'd be good.
That'd be good. My friend Daniel from Enduring Aesthetics. If you don't follow Enduring Aesthetics, go to Instagram and follow Enduring Aesthetics. That guy is phenomenal. I love him to death. He just recently shot with Kai Green, and then he shot with Bumstead and Joe and Terrence. He's just doing he's moving so fast in this industry and doing such a phenomenal job. Bumstead is one of them.
How about Valier? How about Valier? He's probably hard to get, huh?
Who's that?
Ian Valier. Did you hear that? Your sound just went out. Can you hear me?
Uh-oh.
You lost him.
Yeah. Did you lose your sound? Technical difficulties.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder what happened there.
I don't know. You can hear me, right, Ian?
I can hear you perfectly, yeah.
Yeah, I think Phil's went out. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What was I saying? Ian.
Okay.
Ian Valier.
Who?
From Canada, Ian.
Oh, Ian. Oh, yeah. Bumstead's brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool too. Honestly, that'd be nice to get both of them in the same shoot.
Yeah,
That'd
that
be
would
classic. Overall, I'm to the point now where if in bodybuilding, there's only a matter of time before I'm shooting with top 10 athletes. If somebody wants me to go shoot with them, I'm honored to do it. I'd love to do it. Ashley was on your show. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be. She does some amazing photos.
Yeah. There's a couple athletes I've shot with. I was just like blown away that I had the opportunity to. But no, there's up and coming athletes in the amateur leagues that are turning pro now that I'm looking forward to shooting with here in the near future too. I don't know. Hulk Hogan is definitely still one of my bucket list people. Kanye West. I don't shoot a lot of like artists or singers or bands or anything like that, but one day Kanye West, portrait session with Kanye West is going to happen.
There you go. That'd be cool.
But no, we'll see what happens. We got to make it through the rest of this year. We've got the show on Saturday coming up. We've got another PCA show in the beginning of October. And then Olympia is right after that. And then we got to make it through the rest of October, November. When is the final show for the PCA for this year, Ian?
October 16th.
October 16th. So yeah, right after Olympia's last PCA show for the year. So that's going to be a busy month.
Yeah, very busy.
Ian, you going to the Olympia?
I don't know. What day is the Olympia?
It's
going to be the 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Yeah.
I may do. I don't know. I'm not sure. Probably not. I probably won't be the most popular person over there, but I might have seen it. I went in 2016 actually, and it freaked me out how much it had changed. Because when I went in 2016, the last time I'd been to an Olympia was the one I competed in 1995. So from 1995 to 2016, a lot had changed. A hell of a lot.
Yeah.
But I might do. If I don't have anything else going on, I might head over there.
Yeah, let me know if you decide to go. We'll meet up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
This might be the last year it's in Orlando. Hopefully not, but it might be.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Make the most of it.
I don't mind traveling to Vegas. That's pretty cool. I like going to the gyms out there and stuff. Different atmosphere.
It's cool to visit Vegas, but honestly, right now, you couldn't pay me to fly.
No, you couldn't pay me traveling at all. It's like,
yeah, not right now.
No, I couldn't do anything. Like we like to go to Halloween Horror Nights every year, but I'm not going to walk through wearing a mask in a haunted house the whole time I'm there. No, that's stupid. Like a cruise ship. I like going on cruises every now and then. I'm not going to walk around a cruise ship with a mask on,
No.
I'm not going to do it.
There's a lot of things that it's rearing its ugly head again, isn't it? This COVID right now. It's I thought the worst was past us, but it's someone told me today actually that indoor dining in Georgia has been banned or stopped or something. I don't know if that's
oh my gosh.
They're probably doing like New York's doing, where they're making you require your vaccine to come in to indoor dining.
You think they're doing that in Georgia, really? Wow.
I know Savannah is very liberal. Savannah had a lot of restrictions when they opened stuff back up. We went and stayed in Savannah for a few days, and they were very strict on their
sauce, man. Weak sauce.
Yeah.
It's definitely it's affecting things right now. I'm just hoping. I'm booking shows for next year right now, and I'm asking every single venue if they change their policy regarding COVID, like if they insist that everybody in the venue has to have the vaccine, then I want to know that I can get my money back, because a lot of athletes just won't do it. Simple as that.
Yep.
Well, they're not going to compete in a show where they're required to get a vaccine, you know. So it's not making it easy for the show promoters, that's for sure. There's certain venues that don't care, but there's a lot that do. So it's tough. It is tough. But hopefully we'll survive and we'll get through it, and everybody will be good, and we'll get back to some kind of normality eventually.
Yeah, they just need to get this media to kind of shut up a little bit and quit getting everybody so excited and, you know, panicking, and it's just crazy.
They love it, don't they? That's what they do. That's what they do best.
That's how they make their money, you know.
Yeah, best.
Yeah.
What it is, I guess.
That's what sells.
Yeah. What time are you heading over there on Saturday, Phil?
I aim to get there around 9:30, 10 o'clock. That way I can get set up, make sure the lighting's right on the stage, help Mac out with whatever he needs done. Is there going to be any spot over there that you guys need some lights backstage for backstage photos or with a backdrop?
Not sure. I haven't been to this venue. It's Jose's. Possibly though. Possibly.
Okay. Just shoot me a text between now and Friday. That way I can know if I need to bring some constant lights and a couple soft boxes. That way there can be like the PCA background and then like a little standing area with some lights in case somebody wants to take a bunch of selfies or something like that, commemorate the venue.
You're a star, man. You're a star. You're brilliant. Brilliant. Yes. It should be a good one. Should be a good one. We've had quite a few judges and athletes that have currently got COVID. So we're going to be down a few people, but the show will go on. We'll keep it.
Yeah. I'll get up there and judge bikini if you want me to.
I might actually take you up on that one, man. I might actually take you up on that, because I have 2 judges that can't come and judge because they've got COVID, or the family's got COVID.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
get Jason to judge.
Jason, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who's coming. I'll tell you who's coming to shadow judge, to be a judge for us, Jason. Steve Brisbane.
Yeah, we were just talking a little while ago. He was going to come on the show, but he was in the middle of prepping and cooking and stuff like that. So
he came over to my house the other day, and
that's what he was telling me. He was telling me you guys had a good time.
We did. We had a great time. He actually connected me with an old English buddy of mine called Peter Chapman, who was an incredible bodybuilder back in the day. I didn't even realize, but he lives in Clearwater. So
really?
He's going to come to the show as well and shadow judge. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's nice to connect with people like that. You know?
Yeah, that's great. And he got me connected with Porter Cottrell. So I talked to him the other day. He's in the process of moving. So he said as soon as he gets settled in his new house, he's going to come on the show. So maybe him and Steven will come on and we'll tell some stories. So
awesome. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be very, very cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. So well, that's all I got, guys, unless you got something else. Phil, what's the best way to get in contact with you if somebody wants to do a photo shoot? Now, granted, you do all kinds of photo shoots, so
I do a lot of real estate photography, but for bodybuilders, athletes, headshots, portraits, photos, you can find me on Instagram at PCS_photography__. And if you want to book me, DM me, and we'll figure out what date, what location, and what price that we need to work out for you. And you can catch me for some post-show photos for the PCA show on September 11th, Iron Bay in Tampa. And then next show after that you can book me for is Olympia, if you're doing the Olympia Amateur, Olympia Pro, or you just want some photos done at the local venue. I'll be there over at the Hyatt Regency and Iron Religion.
I think Deb Callahan's show is coming up too. Are you doing that?
Who?
Deb Callahan.
I'm not sure about that.
That Muscle Extravaganza, is that hers?
Yeah, I'm not going to be there.
Yeah. I did that a couple of years ago. So
Is that in
Good
Lakeland?
show though.
what's that, Ian?
Is that the one in Lakeland?
Lakeland, yeah.
Yeah,
That's where her
Lakeland.
gym is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Her
Yeah.
Deb's gym. Mhm.
Yeah, no, I got asked to go to that show by a couple athletes, but I'm actually going to be out of state that weekend with my brother. We're going to go to a concert that we booked like months and months ago.
Mhm.
And so I'll be out of town for that. I'll also be doing some venue portraits over at Daytona Classic. I'll be there for part of the day on that show. But yeah, and then don't forget October 16th is the PCA National Show.
Where's that at, Ian?
That's at the Centro Astoria Road of Tampa. The one where we had our first time a show.
Right there downtown.
We've had to reassess a lot of the venues this year with everything that's been going on. Hopefully we can get back to some kind of normality next year. But yeah, it should be a good show. We've got a lot of athletes from a lot of different states coming down, so it should be a good one.
We might have to book a show at the Equestrian Center.
I was telling Ian about that.
We've been talking about that, haven't we?
That or the Riley Center. What do you think? The Riley Center would be a good one?
Yeah.
It's got a Riley Center's got a real nice stage, real pretty stage.
Yep.
Yeah. So I got to go by the Riley Center and talk to them. So
yeah, we need to get on that pretty soon, actually, Jason.
Yeah, I'll go. I've been slammed this week. Hopefully, I can go by there tomorrow. We're at the Equestrian Center. Do you think? I mean, I know it's huge, but is there somewhere to actually put a stage up and everything?
Well, not all of that venue is just like open stadium, or they have enclosed parts of their venue.
Yeah,
they have stages that they can put up. They have stadium seating. Yeah, they're ready for anything like this. They're ready for concerts. They're ready for a bodybuilding show. They're ready for a whole bunch of different things. So
and I'm going to be there.
Jessica,
yeah, I'm going to be there Friday. I'm going to be there Friday.
Okay, yeah, that's a cool place. And plus, they have a couple restaurants there. They have a hotel there. So if the athletes are flying in, they can just stay right there at the hotel and then walk to the venue. It's pretty much perfect for something like this.
Yeah, that's the first thing I brought up to him. I said, "Man, that equestrian place is good." But they're hosting a first responder breakfast for us on Friday.
Oh, awesome!
So I'll be there. So I'll ask around, Ian. See
yeah,
what
please do. That's got my curiosity going, because that might be a place for an international show, like a PCA.
Oh, definitely, because that's where international horse people come. That's for sure.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, it sounds like it would be ideal for people to fly in, stay there, and then go on a vacation afterwards. But I mean, you know, with PCA right now, we had to postpone the universe to next May because of all the lockdowns in Israel and Australia. But potentially next year or the year after that, maybe we could do an international show there.
Yeah. Hey, maybe we can get Dorian to come since he likes horses and stuff.
Oh, does he like horses? I didn't know he liked horses.
Yeah, remember he was talking about his sister or something like that. She's big in the competing horses and stuff like that. So
my wife actually used to show jump too.
Yeah, she'll love that place.
Yeah, she used to show jump.
Well, that's a horse lover's heaven there. So, all right, gentlemen. Well, thanks for coming on, Phil. Appreciate it.
Thank y'all for having me.
Ryan will hopefully be back next week. He had a family emergency he had to take care of. So, and then we'll work on getting some more guests. So,
awesome.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'll see you guys Saturday.
Yep. See you there.
Yep.
So, all right, gentlemen. All right. Have a good evening.
Bye.